So hi, my name is Dolly Vyasahuja, and I'm an animal activist. And it's an honor to be here today at Rowdy Girl Sanctuary, my favorite place to be in the whole wide world. And I want to give a special thanks to Renee and Tommy for having me here today. Now before I start, I want to let everybody know how Renee and I met. Well, about 4 years ago, close to 4 years ago when I went vegan, I had a strong urge to go to a sanctuary and be with animals. And I'm sure a lot of you guys felt that way. If you're passionate about animals, you just want to be with them. You want to be with the chicken and the cows and the pigs. And I wanted my children to make that connection. So we were looking for a sanctuary. I think we finally found one close to San Antonio called Dreamtime Sanctuary. And we went and we were with the animals, and it was a beautiful feeling. And I just come back, living off my merry life. And I pray a lot, so I would pray and meditate, and I have this healing tree. And I would ask the tree every day, can you please open a sanctuary near my house somewhere? And this sanctuary that I went to, they didn't have cows. And so I really had the urge to be with a mama cow and a baby cow and spend time with them. And they had no cows. And then I would keep meditating about it. So 2 months later, a good friend of mine, Sandy McGavin, you guys might know her, she tells me, Dolly, did you know about this lady? She's got a 90-something acre beef cattle ranch. It's a sanctuary now. She's vegan. I'm like, get out. No way. What's her name? How do I contact her? And then she gave me the information, and I called Renee that night, and I'm like, hi, my name is Dolly, and you're living my dream? And I'm like, when can I come and visit you? And when can I feed the animals? How can I donate? And I think Renee talked to me about 45 minutes that night, so it was so sweet. She must have been so busy, but she took the time out to talk to me. And then soon after that, I heard Renee sing Red Trailer on a vegan talk radio show. If you guys haven't heard that, please see it on YouTube. It's such a beautiful song. I would cry. Red Trailer. Maybe Renee will sing it today here for us. But and I love the way Renee sings. She sings so beautifully, and she sings to all these animals out here. She has such a strong connection with them. And when she sings, it echoes, it continues to echo in my heart much later. And then I met Renee for the first time at a vegan potluck in Leak City. So I met, we hugged, we took pictures, it was awesome. And then soon after that, I came here to the first Veg May Fest. That was awesome. I've been coming here every Thanksgiving. I come here every birthday. It's my only wish to be here at Rowdy Girl and feed the animals and be with them. So it's such a wonderful feeling to be here. And I always say, it'd be great to have a sanctuary. But when I come out here and I see Renee and Tommy, they work so hard. They work 7 days a week, 365 days. It can be hot, it can be cold, it can be raining, it can be hurricane, doesn't matter. They are working so hard. They're so dedicated. And all these animals have names, Sometimes I'm here with Tommy and we're in his mule, and the cows are running, they're running. I'd love to see these cows running, and they're running with freedom and respect and love. And I always say that God's love, God's light is always shining down on Rowdy Girl Sanctuary, and you'll see that here today. So I really want to thank Renee and Tommy for all their hard work, all their love. They're making the world a better place. So let's just give a hand to Renee and Tommy for that. And Renee, I always say, my eyes live in hers. And she's my hero, and she's my role model. And I love you, Renee.
Thank you, Dolly. So
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome. So my mission in life is to be the voice of Mother Cow and her babies. Now, did you know cows' emotions are closest to human beings because they have a powerful relationship with their babies? They're very attentive and protective of their babies. Their mother-bond child continues after weaning, and mother and children remain close to each other for life. Cows are very loving and welcome interactions with kind people. Even cows that have been abused or mistreated in the past can heal over time and forgive and learn to love people again. Now I want to share with you a musical that I saw on BBC. It was done in London, where a woman actually dresses up as a cow and she sings this beautiful opera song through the cow's perspective. So of course I'm not going to sing it, but I want to share it with you, and I'm going to say it. So bear with me for a second. So this is mother cow Daisy. Isn't she beautiful? Now, mother cow Daisy's a little sad, you can see in her eyes. So I'm going to be talking through Daisy, and here we go. I held my young for 9 months, just like you, with hours of labor. So excited to see my little boy, my little boy. All I wanted to do is lick him clean and help him stand up. Where have you taken my baby? Where is my baby? You must see the pain in my eyes. Tell me he's still alive. Stop making me pregnant. Why molest me for the milk that you don't need? Stop making me pregnant. Why strap tubes to my udders that my baby needs? I'm not a machine. I'm a mother. My udders, they bleed. It's my blood in your milk, my pus in your milk. 'Cause it's not your milk. It's my baby's milk. What kind of animal rapes just for milk? What kind of animal rapes just for milk? Oh no, here comes that bad man. He's gonna molest me all over again. I can't take this anymore. Let me die. Please, just let me die. Thank you. Now I know that was so hard to hear. When I first heard that, I was crying and I had goosebumps. It's so difficult to hear. But I think it's very important, very important. We have to look at it through the eyes of the animal, the unforgotten victim. It's the only way we're going to understand what they're going through. And Anthony Williams said, if animals could speak, mankind would weep. Now today I want to talk to you about why dairy is not AHIMSA. And the word AHIMSA comes from India, which means non-violence to all living beings, all human beings and all sentient beings. And this is my main mission in life. I want to reach out to my own people, my own Indian people who believe in AHIMSA. I'm trying to reach out to the temples and talk about why dairy is not AHIMSA anymore. It is no longer AHIMSA. And so that's my main mission. I want to bring all this education and awareness because people believing in AHIMSA, they are pure vegetarian. They don't even eat eggs because they don't believe in any violence. So, and a lot of them, most of them continue to have milk. And so sometimes they have no idea that dairy is so violent and so cruel, and it's not AHIMSA at all. And the reason why it's not AHIMSA is number one, there's forced pregnancies. 2, the male calf will be killed for veal. And 3, the female cow will be slaughtered at the tender age of 5 or 6. Now today when I talk, I'm talking about goat's milk. I'm talking about buffalo milk. Now in India, they're using camel's milk. So I'm talking about any species milk. Now, a dairy cow can live up to 20 to 25 years. A dairy cow carries her baby for 9 months, just like us. Cows only produce milk after giving birth to a baby. This is called lactation milk, just like our breast milk. So once again, just like us. She only produces milk for the sole purpose of feeding and nourishing her young, just like us. They want to bond with their baby immediately, just like us. Now, cows just don't make milk like most people think. What's behind this white glory when we go to the grocery store and we buy a gallon of milk, or we buy cheese, or we buy yogurt or ice cream? We really don't think about what cruelty went behind that. Because it comes in this pretty package, we don't need to think. And the greatest injustice is that the baby calf will not get a drop of her mother's milk because us humans want it. Now first, the cow is artificially inseminated with a device called a rape rack. That's right. This is the medical term the dairy industry uses to inseminate a cow. The cow is restrained and semen is inserted through a crude procedure that involves the farmer inserting one arm up into the elbow through the cow's rectum, in her private area, into the uterus without any painkillers. Now, if this was done to a human, it would be called rape. But because we do it to a cow, we call it artificial insemination. This is injustice, violation, domination, and oppression. And it must stop. Come on, my vegans. It's got to be abolished. On dairy farms, baby cows are torn away from their mother immediately or within hours of birth. just so humans can drink the milk that nature intended for her calf. Now let me give you an example. Let's say we're at the hospital, we just had our baby, and somebody comes in there and just snatches our baby right out of our arms before the doctor could even put the baby on her chest and listen to her heartbeat for the first time. Imagine how that could feel, and imagine if that happened to you over and over again. A dairy cow will lose her baby approximately 4 to 7 times, which causes an extreme distress and anxiety, and it takes an enormous emotional toll on the mother. A mother cow will bellow for her baby for months. It is the most excruciating sound you'll ever hear. Renee knows. And male calves will be sold for veal. And without the veal industry, the dairy industry would not exist. That's right. Another thing I want to tell you is, at the age of 4 and 7, we take them to slaughter. There is no retirement home. None of these cows are going to a retirement home. They're being slaughtered when they can't produce milk anymore. Thank you, Renee. And females will endure the same life cycle of slavery as their mothers. Now, as a mother and a female, and all you mother and females here today, we can empathize what Mother Cow must be going through. Women are fundamental to life. Mother Earth is a female, the feminine, divine. And without her, we don't have seed. Women carry life. And without her, there is no life. The dairy industry is at the core of the deepest betrayal of motherhood and the female body. Woo! Thank you. And I'll tell you why. All we're doing is using her for her reproductive cycle. Right. We're using her for this one reason, because she's a female. But she's not a milking machine. She's a mother. She's a sentient being. Let all mothers nurture their young and allow them to live without fear, slaughter, and mistreatment. It's time to take a stand against cruelty to all female species and all species. I want to use a quote from Dr. Will Tuttle, and he says, "How could it ever be our purpose to rob another living being of his or her purpose?" Now I want to be using the word, I want to use the words of Dr. Tushar Mehta. He lives in Canada and he travels all around the world. And he has an excellent YouTube video called The Dairy Production and the Cow Slaughter in India. Please do take a look at it if you get a chance. And he says, man is the only animal that drinks milk of another animal. We're the only species that do that. Giraffe drink their own milk. Elephants drink their own milk. Dogs drink their own milk. Now, if it was normal for humans to drink cow's milk, we wouldn't have to, tie them down and sit there and milk them for it. We would just go to Mother Cow and she would give it to us. This is the picture for that, okay? That's right. And that's not happening. And that's not nature. Remember, water always falls down the hill. Nature never lies. We tie them up and we take their milk. We steal it from them. They don't give it willingly. Now, if it was normal for us to drink cow's milk, a newborn baby, a baby born right now today could start drinking cow's milk. But what would happen? The baby might get very sick, maybe even die, because the fats and proteins in cow's milk can create an imbalance in that baby. You're gonna have to help me up here. So the only milk the baby can drink is human's milk, her mother's milk, okay? And that's why doctors and pediatricians will tell you, do not start cow's milk till after 1 year old. Now, I'm praying with all this research from Dr. Neil Bernard and all these other doctors that we don't recommend dairy to any baby, any child, any adult, anyone. No. And I recently found out from my good friend, Dr. Bandana Chola, who's here today, my very good friend. Let's give her a hand. Yay! She recently told me that we actually have a vegan pediatrician right here in Houston, and her name is Dr. Roxanne George. And I was so lucky to meet her 2 weeks ago at the Plant Pure Nation conference. She's awesome. So I think things are going to change. We're going to be getting more and more vegan pediatricians. So what is the solution? That's going to require less land, less water, less heart disease, and most of all, no suffering to cows, but give us better nutrition than cow's milk. Well, the alternative is a plant-based milk. We got almond milk, soy milk, cashew milk, coconut milk, rice milk, hemp milk, oat milk. They're even making a milk out of peas by a brand named Ripple. And all of these products are provided in environmentally friendly cartons. So a lot of you might be asking, where do we get our protein from? Now, I know a lot of meat eaters wonder about this, but so do pure vegetarians believing in AHIMSA, because they don't even eat eggs. So they're scared if they're not getting protein from milk. Where are they getting their protein from? They're very scared about this. But look at this gorilla, this ox, this ram, this elephant, some of the largest land animals on earth. And all they do is eat plants, and they're vegan. They only had their mother's milk. The strongest man in the world right now, Patrick Baboumian, vegan. Tennis star, Venus Williams, vegan. Ironman champion, 3-time champion, David Scott, vegan. And they all have a lot of strength, stamina, and endurance. And none of them are having a protein deficiency problem. And us vegans love to say, it's not where's your protein, it's where's your fiber, right?
Yeah, right. That's right.
Remember, we're not just living for the taste of cow's milk. Billions of animals have to, keep it there. Billions of animals have to suffer, and we are humans. We have a higher consciousness for compassion. Dr. Tushar Mehta. Listen to your heart, not your habit. There's vegan ice cream, vegan butter, vegan sour cream, vegan cream cheese, salad dressing, tofu, Cool Whip, yogurt, and much, much more. And my good friend Mitra, right here in the audience, raise your hand. She's making an awesome yogurt called Akaju yogurt. It's so tasty. I think she's got a mango cardamom, raspberry chocolate, apple pie, pina colada, plain. I've tried it. It's fantastic. And what's great about it, doesn't have the antibiotics. It doesn't have the progesterone and estrogen. And most of all, it doesn't have the suffering, and it tastes great. So I think she has a website, akaju.com. She's got a Facebook page. Please go and see her after this speech. And she's awesome.
Yay! That's awesome.
And we can make our favorite dishes, such as enchiladas, mac and cheese, pizza, Alfredo, desserts, all by using a plant-based product. Now I want to get into what's actually in cow's milk. And I did a lot of research from Dr. John McDougall, Dr. T. Campbell, who's written the China study.
Yeah.
Who knows about the China study? Yay! And I actually got to meet him at the Plant Pure Nation conference. He's a wonderful man, and it was an honor to meet him. And he talks about a protein in cow's milk called casein, which is linked to several cancers. So please do check that out. Dr. Neil Bernard from the Physicians Committee of Responsible Medicine. He's written some awesome books. One of the books I suggest, the vegetarians out here, The Cheese Trap. Anybody heard about The Cheese Trap? So a lot of vegetarians can't, go vegan just because of the cheese. So please read this book. And I must add now that you might miss your cheese, but that baby calf is gonna miss her mother more than you'll ever miss that cheese.
That's right.
Time to get off of it.
That's right.
And so Dr. Neil Bernard's brand new book, How to Reverse Diabetes. He's also got a cookbook that goes with that. Check it out. Dr. Michael Greger, world's best book, How Not to Die. Please check that out. He also has a website called nutritionalfacts.org. So it's an excellent website. And Dr. Gina Shah, who lives in London, she talks about an AHIMSA diet. And she has YouTube videos, and Dr. Tushar Mehta. Now, cow's milk has 20 times more casein than human's milk, which makes a protein from cow's milk difficult or impossible for humans to process it. And when we can't break down protein, it weakens our immune system, causing allergies, chronic inflammation, cholesterol, etc. Want to change page? Now, cow's milk is meant to turn a 65-pound calf into a 1,500-pound cow very rapidly, very fast. And this is one of the reasons that America is in the leading country in the world of obesity. Now, Dr. Michael Clapper states, cow's milk is baby calf growth liquid. Everything in there, the hormones, the lipids, the sodium, the proteins, the growth factors, are all for a baby calf. It is lactation milk of a large bovine cow who just had a baby.
Yep.
That's right.
Hello.
Mother's human milk has linoleic acid. Cows do not. We don't need such massive skeletal growth or huge muscles like the calf. Humans' mother's milk gives the appropriate nutrients to dedicating to building our brains, our spinal cord, and our nerves. Now, we need this for about a year, and then we no longer need our mother's milk. So why are we drinking cow's milk as adults?
I know it.
We've just been so conditioned to think this way. Even mother cow will teach her baby calf to start eating grass around 6 to 8 months. It's like a light bulb went off in my head when I started doing all this research. And I drank milk all my life because I thought it was good for me, because I was told to. But I realize now in my journey, I'm not a baby calf. I don't need to be drinking baby calf growth liquid.
That's so funny.
Now, the dairy industry allows blood, pus, and mucus in milk. There's about 1.5 million white blood cells per milliliter, 328 pus cells per glass. Now, the cows get mastitis because they're hooked onto these machines, maybe 3 times a day, maybe 8 to 10 hours a day. So they get severe mastitis. Now, look in this picture. Go back to the mother cow's picture, the infection. How much infection this mother cow has, okay? How much inflammation, how engorged she is, how diseased she is. And the sad thing is, they might milk her anyway. Now, I just saw a video where the machine is hooked onto the udder, but the udder had such bad mastitis, the whole machine broke off with her udder. And all this milk is just gushing out, and nobody's there to save the cow. How cruel, how painful. This is so unnecessary. And remember, when you're getting cow's milk, you're not just getting one cow's milk. You're getting hundreds and thousands of cow's milk put together. And with the drugs they're giving today, they can even take milk out with the baby inside. So unnecessary. Very unnecessary. Okay, and mind you, their hooves, okay, they get infected. Because remember, they're on concrete floors for hours on end, many times standing in their own urine and feces. So there's infection going on down there, okay? Many times their tails are docked. Now, there's no painkillers. This is very cruel, and it's very painful, okay? And they need their tail to keep the mosquitoes and the flies and the maggots off. So when they dock their tail, imagine all the infection, bacteria, and blood going on over there, okay? And now, when the maggots do come, she doesn't even have her tail to protect her. And a lot of times, their horns get removed with hot blades. Once again, there's no painkillers. It's so cruel, excruciating. Now, in my PowerPoint, I would have shown you a little video. But if you get a chance, please watch Dairy is Scary. What Happens to a Dairy Cow in 60 Seconds by PETA, Mercy for Animal. Take a look at that. Then you'll really know what's going on. So a lot of times, these workers are using the same instruments from cow to cow to cow. This spreads the disease in cows. And so what are we doing? We're giving them antibiotics. There's no vet required. And many times these workers are using the same needle from cow to cow to cow. So a lot of these cows end up with bovine leukemia and bovine lymphoma. This is something you're never going to learn. Something the dairy industry is never going to teach you. Your doctors don't know about it. But yeah, a lot of times when they come to sanctuaries, they end up with bovine leukemia and bovine lymphoma. Now, even if it's organic or grass-fed, it doesn't matter. There's still violence in them. They're still being artificially inseminated. They still have fear and anxiety. They're probably still over-milking them. So there's mastitis. They're probably still getting growth hormones to make more milk. There's still progesterone, estrogen, and casein in the milk. So there's nothing in that milk good for the healthy body. And milk is misery, and it's not about taste. It's torture. Period. Now, there's estrogen and progesterone in milk. And remember, when she's had a baby, these levels are even higher, just like us, okay? So a lot of young girls are getting their menstruation. And men, hitting 30 and 40, having man boobs. My dad loves to say, oh, it's just baby fat, But remember, it's all this estrogen in the dairy, okay? So men get man boobs. No, it's not your baby fat. And they get enlarged prostate, leading to prostate cancer. Now, there's BGH in cow's milk, which is the bovine hormone to increase milk production. And BGH also increases blood levels of the insulin growth factor, IGF-1, which is linked to several cancers. Now, let us stop, pause, and think about this for a second. Cows get antibiotics, we get antibiotics. And every time we take it, we're creating a resistance. Cows have tumors and cancers, we have tumor and cancers. Cows have anxiety and stress, we have stress and anxiety. So many people have insomnia. They have to take melatonin or some pills at night to sleep. More and more people are getting diagnosed with clinical depression. Cows get a disease called yonis, where they're having this severe diarrhea come out. Because remember, they're in that sympathetic nervous response, that flight or fright response. Because they're having all this anxiety and fear mixed in with all the drugs. So there's this constant diarrhea. In humans, it's called Crohn's disease, or IBS. And if you've watched TV lately, everything's about Crohn's and IBS, IBS. Take this drug for IBS. If we only knew, it's time to wake up. Time to wake up. Cows have osteoporosis. We have osteoporosis. Cows get pus. We get acne. Cows have mucus. We have allergy, asthma. What's going on here? It's a boomerang effect. Whatever we're doing to them is happening to us. But a lot of vegans are waking up, and vegans are finding out that we are alive electrical beings, and we need to be eating live electrical foods, and we don't need to be having baby calf growth liquid. And a lot of vegans are finding out that food is information at a quantum level. Food is energy. Energy never dies. It only gets transferred. So when the animal is going through fear, pain, and slaughter, and anxiety, now all that gets absorbed in our DNA, okay? And food does carry karma. And you'll hear a lot of vegans say they just are feeling so much calmer, having a calmer lifestyle. They're feeling a mental balance, an emotional balance, a spiritual balance, a physical balance. Now the dairy industry is a billion-dollar industry. They have their own doctors and scientists that will tell you different, says Dr. John McDougall. Now we drink milk for calcium, and this one was a big one for me. My daughter never liked milk, so I would go out and get Hershey syrup, and I found out that was bad for her. And then I got Ovaltine. And I was probably brainwashed by my mother. She was probably brainwashed by her mother. We watch it on TV. Milk does a body good. Our pediatricians tell us. But what is calcium? Well, calcium is a mineral that comes from the ground, just like potassium, magnesium, and copper. And so what happens, the animals eat the roots of the plants and get the calcium that way, from the earth. But nowadays, the cows are not getting calcium from the earth. They're eating like GMO corn and GMO grain mixed in with fish pellets. They're not even supposed to be eating this stuff. They actually have to be injected with calcium. They have severe osteoporosis. So much of their milk had to come out, which depletes them of all their calcium. The best thing to do is skip the cow and go straight to the source with all these plant foods that are so rich in calcium. Now let's talk about our children. Number one, ear infections, so common in our children. And so the child comes into the doctor and the doctor is going to give antibiotics. But if the child keeps coming in for ear infections, just going to get ear tubes put in, very common practice. Tooth decay. So many kids are getting tooth decay, falling asleep with the bottle, and they'll end up with tooth decay. What about that kid who's always got that runny nose or allergy? Okay, the doctor's going to want to put them on a Zyrtec or Claritin. Asthma, they'll get put on a nebulizer treatment. Eczema, maybe some topical ointment. Constipation. This is a big one for our kids. You'll always hear kids say, oh, my stomach hurts, my stomach hurts. Remember, there's no fiber in milk. It's very acidic. And so the doctor might want to put them on Miralax. And a lot of kids, more and more kids are getting acid reflux. And the doctor might want to put them on a Pepcid. And children as young as 9 are getting high cholesterol. Now, if you take your kids off of dairy products, says Dr. John McDougall, they are generally cured of these symptoms, generally. But a lot of our doctors are just unaware of how unhealthy and sick our cows really are. And the dairy industry is well aware of all these problems, but the rebuttal is money. Now, the dairy industry also tries to use reductionism on us. They try to reduce our intelligence, but no longer. More and more plant-based doctors are finding out the truth. Our very own Dr. Bandana Chawla, plant-based doctor, her wonderful husband, Dr. Monish Chawla, we got Dr. Baxter Montgomery, we got Dr. Garth Davis, we got Dr. Roxanne George, and so many doctors are finding out the truth. The public is finding out the truth about dairy, and dairy sales have been down. Let's give a hand to that. That's right. Awesome. Now I want to talk to you about how animal agriculture is devastating our planet. And I'm going to be using the words of Philip Mullen, a prominent, an animal activist and a banker and now an activist. A prominent member of the animal rights movement, a banker and now activist. I'm sorry. Animal agriculture is the leading cause of species extinction, ocean dead zones, water pollution, and habitat destruction. We are facing the largest mass extinction in 65 million years. It is a crime of unimaginable proportions. It takes 900 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of cheese, and it takes 1,000 gallons of water to produce 1 gallon of milk. Every 10 seconds, the Amazon forest is being broken down for animal agriculture. These trees are our lungs in this world. The rivers are circulation, the air our breath, and the earth our body. Now, this is something our high school students are never going to learn, our college students are never going to learn. It's really important that everybody teaches their youth because they need to secure the planet for their future generations. Now, animal agriculture makes a 40% greater contribution to global warming than all the transportation in the world combined. Can you help me over here, Maria? Cattle and cows in particular produce a significant amount of methane annually. For example, one dairy cow can produce 75 kilos of methane annually. One dairy cow can eat 50 pounds of grain a day and drink close to 50 to 100 liters of water a day. The land is sinking, and now we're getting water from our aquifers that took years to build. California, some of the biggest dairy industries in the United States, they're getting water from their aquifers because we're giving all this water to our dairy cows to drink. And on top of that, a tremendous amount of water is used to grow the crops to feed the cows. Now, cows belch and fart, producing a tremendous amount of methane annually. This goes up into the atmosphere. It gets trapped there for about 11 years. It is 86 times more powerful than CO2. And this is why we have global warming and a major drought in California and other parts of the world.
Here.
That's right.
Oh my God.
And I encourage everyone to watch Cowspiracy. Has everyone here seen Cowspiracy?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So, and I really encourage all of you to go home and see it with the youth. It's so important that our high school students, our college students really need to see Cowspiracy because it's up to them to secure the planet. Again, using the words of Philip Wollen, water now is the new oil. Nations will go to war for it. Underwater aquifers are running dry. Some of the greatest rivers now don't even reach the sea. We have sucked them dry through the meat and dairy industry. Even without fossil fuels, we will exceed our 565 gigatons of CO2 limit by 2030, all from raising animals. Now let's talk about our ocean. Over 70% of the planet is water, our planet ocean. Fish are grinded up, put into pellets, given to our vegetarian cows. So to all my Indian people who believe in pure AHIMSA, even if you don't drink milk or buy milk products and you pay with your dollar to get milk, you're paying for all these fish. You're paying for all these fish to die because we're giving them to our cows. So there's nothing AHIMSA about this. It's all connected. There's nothing AHIMSA about this. By 2048, all our fisheries will be dead, our lungs and arteries of this world. 10,000 species wiped out. Just like that because of one species. Us. Philip Wollen. Oceans are under attack. Phytoplankton are microscopic plants that come from the ocean, giving us oxygen and taking carbon. Now humans are taking everything from the ocean and giving nothing back. Now I encourage everybody to watch Seaspiracy. It's just like Cowspiracy, but it talks about how we're devastating our oceans. And it's very important for the youth to understand this. You know, this earth is not just a chunk of dirt. You know, Mother Earth is alive, and she keeps us alive. And it's very important for the youth because we have a responsibility to our planet and our Mother Earth. So by going vegan, one person can save 400,000 gallons of water, 15,000 pounds of grain, 7,000 pounds of CO2, 365 animal lives, 11,000 square foot of forest, all in 1 year just by going on a vegan diet. So if you're a vegan here today, give yourself a big hand because you're doing something great for the planet. Once again, using the words of Philip Wollen, and he says it so eloquently, the time for killing animals has passed. It's just not about animal rights, but it's about human wrongs. Ahimsa, the most beautiful word written 5,000 years ago by the Upanishads. non-violence to all living beings, in what we say, in what we think, and what we do. We all oppose violence, but doing nothing is no longer an option. Let's do something. Let's tell the truth and do something tangible and tell the truth. Wise words from Gary Yavalsky, and he says, peace begins on the plate and what we put in our mouth. Good people just don't talk about kindness, they practice it. And remember, when you know better, you can do better. And he says we shouldn't just go to the church and the temple and pray for peace and love and kindness. We actually need to give it. And once you know the truth, you can't unknow it. Now, 1 billion people are hungry, and billions will die from malnutrition. Going vegan will end malnutrition forever. Philip Wallen, because every grain and legume we grow in the third world country is grown and sent to the West to feed our livestock, just so we can fatten them up and kill them in the end. Meanwhile, the woman farming this land holds her hungry child in her hands. In the words of Philip Wallen, we are no longer voiceless, we are no longer powerless, and we are no longer spineless. Let's together stand up for justice, whenever, wherever, and to whomever it is denied. It is time for every educated, enlightened citizen to get off the dairy drug. They have had their day, and their time has passed. Let's not relive history. Let's be in the making of new history. We can no longer use our religious traditions to cause so much harm and suffering. And this is especially to my Indian people believing in AHIMSA who are vegetarians. Because we consider the cow sacred. And we actually say Gau Mata. She's like a mother to us. We have so much respect for her. So we cannot use God's creatures in God's name anymore. We gotta do the greater good in today's world. We need to evolve from these old traditions. You know, a lot of people in India will say, you know, it's holy to drink milk, or our Lord Krishna drank it, so it's okay to drink it. But we're living in a different era right now. So we need to move forward. We need to create earth consciousness. We need to let that ego go. And ego says, oh, milk is tradition, our God drank it, it's holy, or it just tastes good. This is the ego talking. So we need to let that ego go and create a new divine imprint for AHIMSA, for the planet, and for compassion. And whenever one person stands up and says, wait a minute, this is wrong, it helps others do the same. And once we live a vegan lifestyle, we're aligning our values with our actions. I want to use a quote from Dr. Stephen Farmer from his new book, Earth Magic, and he says, the creator and creation is one. Let me say that again. The creator and creation, all this out here, Rowdy Girl, is one. The creator merges with creation at the moment of pure awareness. So next time you see that cow, that mom, that baby you see God. And God is asking for mercy. The choices we make today change our tomorrow. And with the vegan diet and lifestyle, we give up nothing. We just stop taking which was never ours. And last, God lives in the voiceless. Thank you.